5 flour brands robbing you blind, and 3 that are worth the money. You think you're saving money on that budget flour, but what if I told you it's secretly ruining your baking? That loaf of bread that came out like a brick, those cookies that melted into one giant, flat, greasy sheet. You've followed the recipe to a T, you've checked your oven, you've done everything right, but you're still getting inconsistent, disappointing results. Well, I'm here to tell you, you are not a bad baker. You're just being let down and frankly ripped off by one of your most basic ingredients. For years, we've all heard that flour is flour, a simple commodity where the cheapest bag is the smartest choice. That is a lie. This lie is costing you way more than just a couple of bucks on a bag of flour. It's costing you the price of all the other stuff you use. The expensive butter, the good vanilla, the chocolate chips. It's costing you your time and your confidence. So in this video, we're going to expose 5 popular flour brands that are consistently underperforming. And then, we're going to reveal 3 affordable flours that are absolutely worth the money, delivering reliable results every single time. The core problem: the flour scam. Before we name names, you have to understand the secret that big flour brands do not want you to think about: protein content and consistency. Flour isn't just a simple white powder, it's a complex ingredient. And the most important factor for any baker is the protein. Why? Because protein is what forms gluten. Think of gluten as the skeleton for your baked goods. For a chewy, artisan loaf of bread, you need a strong skeleton. That means you need a flour with a higher protein content, typically above 11%, to trap the gas from the yeast, letting the bread rise high and get that airy crumb we all love. But for a tender, delicate cake or a flaky biscuit, you want a weaker skeleton. You need a flour with lower protein, usually around 8 to 10%, to create that soft, fine texture. Here's the scam. Many budget brands mill their flour to a wide, inconsistent range of protein levels. One bag might be on the low end, and the next bag, from the exact same brand, could be a full percentage point higher. They focus on hitting a low price, not on maintaining a tight specification. This inconsistency means you're rolling the dice every time you bake. Your go-to cookie recipe might work perfectly one day and fail the next, not because of you, but because the flour itself is a totally different product from bag to bag. You're being robbed of the single most important thing a baker needs: reliability. The 5 flour brands robbing you blind. So, which brands are the biggest offenders? Let's get into it. Number 5. Generic supermarket value. Brands. You know the ones. The plain, no-name bags on the bottom shelf that cost next to nothing. These are the definition of a gamble. These brands are often sourced from whichever mill gives the supermarket the cheapest deal at that moment, so there is zero consistency. You might get lucky with one bag, but the next could be milled from a totally different type of wheat with a wildly different protein content. This flour might be fine for thickening a gravy or making simple pancakes where the structure doesn't matter as much. But for anything more ambitious, like a good loaf of bread or even a quality cookie, you're just setting yourself up for failure. The few cents you save aren't worth the almost certain inconsistency and the high probability of a ruined bake. Number 4. Aldi Baker's Corner All-Purpose Flour. Aldi is famous for bargains, but their Baker's Corner flour is a classic case of you get what you pay for. While some home cooks say it works fine for them, many experienced bakers have reported serious problems online. A common complaint is that the flour feels unusually fine and fluffy, almost like cake flour, which causes doughs to become way too wet and slack. Bakers have described their focaccia dough turning into a batter that refuses to rise, baking into something dense, hard, and inedible. Cookies spread too much and trusted recipes suddenly fail. When the only new ingredient is the flour, it becomes the clear suspect. The low price is tempting, but it's no bargain if you have to toss the final product in the trash. Number 3. Walmart Great Value All-Purpose Flour. Similar to Aldi's brand, Walmart's Great Value Flour is another budget option that often underwhelms. While it has its fans for simple tasks, its flaws show up in side-by-side comparisons. Its protein content is around 10%, putting it on the very low end for an all-purpose flour. In cookie bake-offs, Great Value flour has been shown to produce cookies that are dense and have a flat, bland flavor. For bread, that lower protein means a weaker gluten structure. Some bakers even report having to use less water in their recipes compared to better flours, which is a clear sign of poor absorption and quality. That kind of adjustment is a hassle and a dead giveaway that you're working with an inferior ingredient. Number 2. The good enough deception. This spot isn't for one brand, but for a whole category of flours that are deceptive because they aren't terrible, they're just mediocre. These are the flours that might work for a basic chocolate chip cookie, but will completely fail you when you try something more ambitious. The robbery here is sneaky. You use this flour for a simple bake, it works, and you start to trust it. Then, you decide to make a beautiful laminated dough for croissants or an enriched brioche. You spend hours on it and use a dozen expensive ingredients. But the flour isn't strong enough. The dough can't hold its shape, the butter leaks out, and your masterpiece turns into a greasy disaster. The flour was good enough for the simple stuff, but it let you down when it really mattered, costing you far more than the price of a better bag. Number 1. Pillsbury all-purpose flour. This one might be controversial because it's a household name. But in terms of performance for the price, Pillsbury has issues. Their all-purpose flour has a protein content of around 10.5%, and some estimates place it even lower. That is quite low for a flour that's supposed to be all-purpose. What does this mean for your baking? It can lead to doughs that turn loose and slack. It means breads that bake up flat, with a disappointing rise. Bakers consistently report having to add extra flour, or, even more tellingly, vital wheat gluten to Pillsbury doughs just to get them to hold their shape. Think about that for a second. You are buying a product and then having to buy another product just to fix its flaws. The money you thought you were saving is immediately spent on a supplement, not to mention the extra work. This makes Pillsbury one of the biggest culprits of robbing you blind under the guise of a trusted name. Okay, we've aired the dirty laundry, but don't despair, it's not all bad news. Before we get to the heroes of the flour aisle, the brands that will give you consistent, beautiful results, if you're finding this helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and tells YouTube you want more honest ingredient reviews. Now let's get to the good stuff. The 3 flour brands worth the money. These 3 brands consistently deliver on their promise. They understand that bakers need reliability, and they mill their flour to deliver it. Number 3. Wheat Montana all-purpose flour. You might see this brand at Walmart and think it's just another generic, but you'd be wrong. Wheat Montana is a family-owned company that grows its own high-quality wheat. Their all-purpose flour has a protein content of around 12%, which puts it in the sweet spot for being a fantastic bread flour that's also versatile enough for other baking. Bakers who use it rave about the texture and performance, with some saying it's even better than more expensive brands. It delivers a great crust and crumb in breads and is known for its reliability. For the price, often just a few dollars more than the absolute cheapest options for a much larger bag, the quality you get is outstanding. It's a fantastic value and a true hidden gem in the flour aisle. Number 2. Bob's Red Mill. If you're a health-conscious baker or someone who just loves to experiment, Bob's Red Mill is your brand. They are famous for their commitment to quality and variety. They often use traditional stone milling techniques, which help retain more of the grain's natural nutrients and flavor. From their organic all-purpose to their high-protein artisan bread flour that's perfect for sourdough, Bob's Red Mill delivers a premium product. While it is a bit more expensive, the value comes from its quality and specialization. When you buy their bread flour, you know you're getting a high-protein flour that will perform. Their whole wheat has a rich, nutty flavor you just don't find in other mass-market brands. For bakers who see ingredients as an investment, Bob's Red Mill is worth every penny. Number 1. King Arthur all-purpose flour. When you ask bakers which flour they trust, one name comes up more than any other: King Arthur. The reason is one simple, powerful word: consistency. King Arthur mills their all-purpose flour to a strict protein specification of 11.7%. They allow for only a tiny variance, meaning every single bag you buy will perform the exact same way. This obsession with consistency takes all the guesswork out of baking. You never have to wonder if a failed bake is your fault or the flour's. With that 11.7% protein, it's one of the strongest and most versatile all-purpose flours on the market. It's strong enough to produce a fantastic loaf of bread, yet balanced enough for tender cookies and cakes. King Arthur flour is also never bleached and contains no artificial preservatives. Yes, it costs a bit more, but it's the definition of an investment. It saves you money by ensuring your expensive butter and vanilla won't be wasted. It is simply the gold standard. Conclusion. So, the next time you're in the baking aisle, remember that the price on the bag is not the true cost. The true cost includes all the other ingredients in your bowl, and most importantly, your time and your passion. Choosing a cheap, inconsistent flour is like trying to build a house on a shaky foundation. It doesn't matter how great your design is. If the foundation cracks, the whole thing comes tumbling down. Investing a little more in a core ingredient from a brand like Wheat Montana, Bob's Red Mill, or King Arthur provides a stable, reliable foundation for everything you bake. It's the simplest secret to becoming a better, more confident baker. What's your go-to flour? Did it make the worst list or the best list? I want to hear about your experiences, so let me know down in the comments. And if this video helped you out, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the ingredients that make or break your baking. Until next time, happy baking.